beard check. It's actually, you can see it now with the lighting.
Oh, it's coming in more.
You don't have to put a shadow on it. Yeah, it's actually getting. I don't know. Can you get cowlicks and beards? Is that
probably? I mean, if it grows weird, but I don't think you'll have that.
I don't know. Like on this right side of my head, right on my right sideburn, it's like kind of starting to wing out a little bit. And I could have slept on it, okay, but I got a shower this morning, and I kind of thought that, like, I don't know, to my understanding of hair, that like kind of resets everything after you get a shower.
That's how I take it.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of like everything lays the way you want it to after you take a shower because you kind of
yeah.
I don't know. It just didn't lay down. Maybe because I didn't shampoo my beard. Everybody's been telling me at work, like, you need to do beard oils.
I don't do any of that either. I probably should. But.
Yeah, Cletus, you care to weigh in?
Yeah. I am Cletus.
Yeah, I don't know. Cause
mine lays different on each side.
Oh, okay.
Like my hair grows different ways. That's probably more what it is.
Okay.
Then.
Okay.
Because like I can't keep it long up here.
Yeah.
Just because it gets crazy, and it looks bad. But
yeah.
Yeah, that's probably just.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You're just learning the life right now. You're learning the life, the way of the beard.
Well, we usually do random songs for our intros, but
I'll tell you something that's grinding my gears before I get into
this. Yeah, okay.
You know what's really cool?
Okay.
So it's like kind of shopping season, you know?
It's
almost like Black Friday and all that cool stuff.
So
it's
week.
like, okay, most of it's online because that's how it is nowadays.
Yeah.
So you got your credit card that you're going to use online. And then, all of a sudden, just, someone hacks your credit card and tries to use it. So you have to shut it down and get a new card, and then you're not going to have a card for shopping time of the year. And
yeah,
that's just something that grinds my gears,
Yeah.
And you don't
that
have
happened to you?
You don't. I don't know.
Could have happened to anybody.
It could have happened to anybody, but But at least it's good when you don't actually lose money and you get reimbursed and they actually alert you and so we're all cool. It got shut down before anything happened and all that. But it's just really cool that some people may just not have a card for online shopping. It just
have a
grinds
debit
my
card
gears.
though, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to use that online.
You don't?
You don't?
No, if it gets you can, but if your debit card would get hacked and not get caught, that's your whole bank account.
Direct bank account, yeah.
That's why I don't use it.
My debit card's the only thing I use online.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Me too, Cletus. That is good.
I don't own a credit card, so.
Yeah, same. I need to.
I primarily use a credit card and just pay it off every month. That's your financial talk for this week.
That's good. Somebody out there got their credit card.
Yeah, someone might have got their...
Stay safe out there, folks. Happy Thanksgiving.
And have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's what's more important.
Exactly. Is there any Cletus, you're pretty good with songs. Are there any
what's
thievery
hot on the radio?
Oh, yeah.
Hot on the radio?
I don't know.
Are there songs about theft?
Theft?
Or beards?
Beards. Your beard's weird?
Beard's weird.
There's Girls by the Beastie Boys.
Oh, I love that song.
Boom 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 bum 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 bum. Girls, bum 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 bum. All I really want is girls, bum 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 bum. In the morning it's girls, bum 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 bum. 'Cause in the evening it's girls.
That made no sense. But happy
I like the
Thanksgiving.
way that they walk.
Bum 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 bum.
And it's chill to hear them talk.
Bum 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 bum.
And I can always make them smile.
Bum 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 bum.
From White Castle to the Nile. That's a whole song just does not make any sense.
No.
Drugs.
Yeah. On that note, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And happy holidays. It's that time of year. And happy football.
Yeah. Hope you have a turkey bowl you're playing on Thanksgiving.
Turkey bowl.
It's going to be freezing cold.
Yeah,
wet.
Around our parts, it's going to be probably like freezing rain, 40 degrees rain, yeah.
That's football weather, baby.
Yeah.
We got football all weekend long. We got Thursday. We got Friday. Yeah. We got Saturday. We got Sunday. We got Monday. We got football all weekend long. And can't wait. So we're going to get into talking about it. Mm-hmm. But this is going to be our Week 12 review. Mm-hmm. Talking about what happened last week. All the craziness in the NFL. All the drunkenness of the NFL, all the parody, all the backwards stuff that doesn't make sense.
I love the drunkenness.
All the free agents.
Daniel Jones.
I guess that's about it.
That's it.
Yeah, so we'll get into it. We're going to start out with the Week 12 review, and then we're going to get into our Chris Collinsworth glaze, talking about those boys that deserve that glaze from this past weekend of football. So let's get into it with some college football talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 5, Indiana went into number 2, Ohio State. And Ohio State just absolutely beat the pants off them. There's not a whole lot to talk about here.
It was Ohio State all game.
Indiana didn't even drop that far in the rankings. They dropped down to 10.
Yep. 10.
Indiana dropped down to 10. Ohio State stayed at 2. This game was, I guess it was close at the beginning. You know, it always starts at 0-0. And actually, Indiana scored the first touchdown. It was 7-0 on their first drive. 11 plays, 70 yards. Took 6 minutes off the clock on that drive. And then after that that was it.
Yep.
Because then at one point, it was 31-7, and the game was out of hand. And then they scored a garbage time touchdown. So Ohio State, honestly, looking back at the Oregon game, they should have won that game too. So Ohio State could legitimately be 11-0, be the number 1 seed. Oregon just got them on a last-second field goal and dumb mistake by Jeremiah Smith in that game. So Ohio State, as they look every single year, they look dominant the whole way around. In this game, they were pressuring Curtis Rourke like crazy. They had JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer, their 2 edge rushers, actually did something in this game. They've been like called out kind of this season because coming into the season, they were both expected to be first-round picks. They've kind of dropped to like back half of the second.
Yeah.
That's what it's looking like now because they've kind of just – there've been games where they haven't shown up, like the Oregon game. But in this game, they definitely showed up. It wasn't pretty. Curtis Rourke, the Indiana quarterback, went 8 for 18 through the air, 68 yards. That's literally it. They did a little bit better on the ground. They had about, like, between their 2 running backs, Tyson Lawton and Justice Ellison, they had about 150 yards or so. But couldn't do anything, man. I said before the air that this really took the wind out of Kurt Cignetti's sails, Coach Sig of Indiana. And
they were just on their heels all game.
They were.
After that first drive, Ohio State had them on their heels, and Indiana just cowered pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, they did do well at they kind of held Jeremiah Smith, the number 1 receiver on Ohio State, in check. He went 3 for 34 in the receiving game, but other than that was like their one like success. Like, yeah, we did it. But that's at the end of the day, they got beat pretty bad. But that was their first loss. They're 10-1. Indiana is hanging in there, and right now looking at a playoff spot. 1 game left because college football plays 12-game regular seasons. So it'll I think they might. I don't know what the Big Ten championship is going to look like now. I don't know if I don't know if they're out of it now. It might be Ohio State and Oregon, like a little rematch. I haven't looked that far forward, but we'll get into that whenever it comes. Speaking of coming, Arizona State. They're not afraid to come, unlike BYU. They're over there. They're over there soaking.
True.
They're just sitting there losing games.
Yep.
Arizona State at home, 28-23 over BYU. Arizona State now jumped up to 14, baby. They are sneaking in. They're trying to get in the back door, baby.
They are.
They're trying to get in that back door, as we all are, aren't we?
All the time.
I mean, Cam Scatterboo. I say it every single week we talk about Arizona State. Cam Scatterboo in this game, 28 carries, 147 yards, 3 touchdowns. You just watch him run. He's a short little bowling ball.
Yeah.
And there were a few plays where they were down to like a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and they just feel comfortable to hand the ball off because they know that. I watched one. It was a 4th and 1. Cam Scatterboo was handed the ball. He was hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he just lowered his head and powered through for the first down. This guy is crazy, and he is rising up draft boards currently right now. He went from because he's I think he's a 5th-year senior. I want to say,
I think
and
so.
He's been rising, I guess 4th-year senior. But anyways, he's been rising up draft boards because nobody knew this guy before this season. And now he is carrying this offense to possibly a playoff berth. Not quite to the extent that Ashton Genty's doing it, obviously. That guy's on a whole other level. He's an alien.
Dog.
But Cam Scatterboo is doing his best impression of Ashton Genty.
Sure is.
And, yeah, they had control of this game. Really, they controlled the first half, Arizona State did, and just kind of put the whooping on BYU, and then BYU was trying to pick up the pieces in the second half. They did try to come back and make a little come back to try to win this game, but I mean, it was 28-17, and then they scored another touchdown, and then they threw an interception on what could have been a game-winning drive because they were down by 5, but threw a pick and just couldn't recover from that because Arizona State, with Cam Scatterwood, they can run the ball, so they can control clock, and so can't win in that situation. But Arizona State, they're right there. They
are.
They're looking at the
on the cusp.
On the cusp. BYU dropped down to
19.
Yeah, they're probably out of it.
Yeah, probably.
But Arizona State, first year in the Big 12, they were projected to finish last. That's what the commentators kept saying. They were projected to finish last in the Big 12. First year in the Big 12, coming from the Pac-12. And let me just say, they're going to be in the Big 12 championship game, and they could possibly win this whole thing.
They could.
And it's
Making some
I love watching them. They're fun to watch.
They are. Number 18, Army, went to Notre Dame, that ranked 6th at the time, and got stomped by Notre Dame, 49-14. It really wasn't even a question all game long.
I was the only one that called it.
You did.
Yeah.
You did call it. We just had faith in our boys.
And our
Army,
military.
Navy. We have faith
American
in those boys.
heroes.
American heroes.
They don't have guns.
Not on the
this
field.
is
Not on the
football.
field.
This is
You're right.
football.
Yeah, it is football, but,
Shame on us for believing in our country. Patriotism.
Athleticism does not equal good football.
You're right. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, very true.
Amen,
very
Cletus.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was just we don't have to stay on this very long because it's what it looks like.
It's an
not
ass kicking.
Yeah, it was 100% from the get-go. Riley Leonard just absolutely killed him pretty much, and Jeremiah Love. It was Riley Leonard, but it was a lot of Notre Dame's run game. Jeremiah Love.
Whole lot of love.
Yeah, a whole lot of love. He looked great. He was running all over him. I think the Notre Dame forced a turnover, and I think that was only Army's 4th turnover of the year or something like that coming into this game. They had a blocked punt, and the momentum never felt in Army's favor. Army had some good plays early, especially they had a standout goal line stand in the first half to keep it a 7-point game before going into half. But they couldn't stop the run and just kept getting piled on and piled on and piled on, and they didn't have any chance and not enough explosive players to come back. And then probably one of the biggest takeaways that I saw was that Notre Dame's jerseys looked awesome. They were sick.
Yeah, they were cool.
They're matte navy blue and gold.
Yeah, gold.
Look sweet. That's about it for that game. They just got it was a whooping. That's exactly what it looks like. And now Army drops down to 25 expectedly, and Notre Dame jumps to number 5.
Dogs.
Yep.
Dogs.
On the Thursday night game on Prime.
NFL. Yep.
It was just, it was pretty to watch. Kind of.
Yeah, Winter Wonderland.
The snow was
Relatively.
nice. The snow was
Yeah, the
nice.
snow was nice. Steelers against Browns. Browns beat the Steelers 24-19. And pretty much it was a bad game for the Steelers. Russell Wilson actually did pretty well. 21 for 28, 270 passing yards and a passing touchdown.
Does not feel like that.
No, it does
No.
not.
The issue came with our run game. Our best rusher was Jalen Warren with 11 carries and only 45 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
Najee only had 41 on 16. We just could not run the ball. Our best runner was Justin Fields with 3 carries and 26 yards.
Woo!
Yep.
Yeah, so we could pass the ball, but then it started snowing, and then you couldn't see the ball.
Yeah.
So we had to run, but we couldn't run. So that's just a recipe for disaster, really.
Yep.
And, our defense was playing well, but once the snow started, they just...
They stopped covering.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter, when it was really coming down, we gave up 14 points.
Yep.
It's not ideal. Not ideal.
To people like Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, Cedric
No
Tillman's a dog.
offense, but
Well, it wasn't Cedric. It was mostly Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry G.
Oh, sorry,
Legacy
Jerry
game.
Jeudy. Yeah,
Cedric
I
Tillman
forgot.
didn't have much of a game. He only had 2 catches.
I think I was thinking of the wrong one.
But yeah, our DBs, you'd think the snow would help them. No, but Jameis Winston, 18 for 27, 219 passing yards, no touchdowns, but he
Yep.
did have a pick.
Yep.
Nick Chubb, he's just a dog. He really didn't break away for any runs. Like, we were doing a really good job stopping him. He had 20 carries for 59 yards. Pretty shitty. But he had 2 touchdowns. Jameis Winston also rushed for a touchdown. I think he just likes the snow.
He does. Loves it.
He does love it. This was just your classic AFC North. Gonna be close. Starts snowing. Whoever's gonna win's gonna win. I mean, Steelers just seemed... Well, George Pickens gave up on the last play. He decided to get in a fight with what's-his-dick. And then the Browns fans had to hold him back.
Yeah, Greg
Newsome. But, hey...
That's what happens. I think Steelers have now lost the last 5 of 6 they played at Cleveland.
Yep.
So Steelers play Cleveland terrible and play the better, at least most people think the better Baltimore team.
Well,
better.
The Steelers have the most wins in the NFL against teams over 500. So they've already had the hardest schedule, and they're going into the hardest schedule.
Yep.
So,
sounds great.
Yep.
And it didn't really... If you're looking at the stat sheet, you can't really see it, but like Jameis Winston outplayed Russell Wilson in this game.
Yeah, he did. You see it in the stat sheet.
Certainly did.
You do see it in the stat sheet.
Well, I mean, like Russell Wilson put up 270 and a touchdown, although he did get sacked.
I don't know
4
where all
times.
that came from.
I doesn't feel like
whole
that.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched like till the third quarter, and it didn't seem like shit was going on.
No.
It was just shit the entire time.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I guess I was with Jared. Watching this game. We actually went to Applebee's, got some half-price appetizers. Yeah, watched this game. And I said to Jared, I was like, George Pickens is he like there aren't a whole lot of divas right now. I think I said this to you too.
He's the
Gary.
biggest diva.
He is the biggest diva in the league.
There's no doubt.
Like, is he the
Probably.
dumbest wide receiver in the league right now?
No, he just has crash out moments.
Dumb's not the right word.
He just crashes out.
Yeah,
He does.
Temperamental.
Yeah, flare-ups.
Yeah, he got flare-ups.
He's got some
yeah.
flare-ups. Yeah, probably right now. I mean, there's no one else that makes noise.
I mean, it goes back to his Georgia days.
It does.
Beating the shit out of that one corner.
We've known that since then, since his draft night.
But he catches everything.
Yeah, he catches everything.
So it's excusable.
I just mean
for now.
Biggest play of the game, and you're off there beating some dude's ass whenever you should be trying to catch the ball.
TJ Watt,
I don't know
not
if
much of a game.
Anything. No, I'm a little worried.
Yeah, TJ.
I shouldn't be, but I am.
Myles Garrett had one hell of a game against the Steelers. 3 sacks in this game.
Yep.
He looked pretty damn dominant after a season of not doing anything.
He usually only does good against the Steelers.
Yeah, it was like, because announcers every time Steelers play the Browns are always going to talk about TJ Watt, Myles Garrett. Like, oh, who's the best pass rusher in the league? And of course, Myles Garrett doesn't do much of anything in the rest of the season. And then in this game, it's like Myles Garrett beat the shit out of Russell Wilson, basically single-handedly.
Yeah. They exposed our 2 rookies and our second-year guy, and yeah, is what it is.
I believe this weekend we're also supposed to get a lot of snow.
Oh,
like I don't think Pennsylvania, but like definitely in the Northeast and the Midwest. So there should be more snow games.
More snow games.
Oh man, that didn't look good for the Steelers for first snow game of the year for the Steelers. An ass whooping.
Yep.
Buccaneers against the Giants. Buccaneers 30, Giants 7. Tommy DeVito, the magic did not happen. They were even home. But I tell you what, Baker Mayfield, he found some magic.
He did.
Let's talk about the Buccaneers first. Honestly, here's my takeaway. Falcons should be scared of losing this division. And I'm a guy who's rooting for the Falcons and believes in the Falcons this year. Because Baker Mayfield is playing pissed off. He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yep.
He hit that Tommy DeVito celebration after a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't know who he's got beef with in New York. Like, they were already crushing him. But he's just laying it on. But it was bad for the Giants. But Mike Evans comes back. Goes 5 receptions, 68 yards in his first game back. Defense on this Buccaneers team just plays hard. They're not always successful on defense, but you can tell that they're buying into what Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles are selling. I haven't really talked about it, but they traded, or we haven't talked about it at all, basically. But they traded away one of their starting corners, Carlton Davis, to the Lions, and Jamel Dean has only played 6 full games this season. Those are both their starting corners from last year.
Yeah.
And cornerback Zion McCollum has stepped up. Originally, he was thought of as like a long, fast cornerback who was a project 5th-round pick in 2022. Now he's rated number 7 cornerback in the NFL this season, according to PFF. This is his first full season as a starter. He's got 55 total tackles, 6 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. And I have to talk about it because this was an absolutely crazy Bucky Irving game. If you're still on the side that RBs do not matter, watch the Buccaneers play every week. I know I talk about it a lot, but I have to say it again. Bucky Irving is so f***ing good.
The main reason that Bucky Irving went off on that 35 or whatever yard play was because Baker Mayfield decided to lay down a nasty block.
He did lay down a he ran
Nasty.
past Bucky Irving because Bucky Irving is so slow.
Yep.
And he laid a block. I love Baker. The way Baker's playing right now is amazing.
We've said it all year. We love Baker.
Yeah.
Or at least I love Baker.
But Bucky Irving this game, 12 carries, 87 rush yards, 6 catches on 6 targets for 64 receiving yards. He even stopped at the 1-yard line twice.
Yep.
Both of which they brought in Sean Tucker for afterwards.
Yep.
Tucker ran the first one in for a touchdown, and then he fumbled on the goal line on the next one, so I don't think they're going to do that again. But on 18 touches in this game, Bucky Irving had 9 missed tackles forced. That is like every other touch, he's making a guy miss. He's rated right now as the number 6 running back in the NFL this season, according to PFF, and you can see it out there. Among running backs with at least 80 carries. I got to nerd out here on the year. So 80 carries on the year is basically every team's basically played 11 games. So that's like just over 7 carries per game. That's like basically every starting running back and their backup.
Yeah.
Right now, he's number 5 in the league in yards per carry with 5.4 yards per carry. He's number 2 in the league in yards after contact per attempt with 4.19. And he's right now 30th in the NFL in total carries, but he's 13th in the NFL in missed tackles forced. He is number 1 in the league in PFF's elusive rating, which is a PFF signature stat measuring success and impact of the runner with the ball independently of the blocking. This is not an exaggeration whenever I say this, and this is the last thing I'm going to say because I know I nerd out on Bucky Irving, and I love that guy. I'm going to get his jersey this Christmas.
Yes.
But I'm not kidding whenever I say this. Whenever it comes to the combo of ball carrier vision and change of direction ability, like put those two together, like ball carrier vision, change of direction ability to hit the gaps that he sees, Bucky Irving is the best running back in the NFL in those aspects because he sees something. Like, this guy is literally a human joystick.
Yeah.
Like, there is nobody in the NFL who can stop and go like he does. Now, I know he's not going very fast, but he's not very fast. But, like, whenever it comes to change of direction, jump cuts, this guy is insane to watch. Oh, and then at 192 pounds, he can still break tackles that some 215-pound running backs can't break, like Rachaad White. But
True.
I wouldn't want to play the Bucs right now because they are playing with fire because they know they have to win to get into the playoffs. Just touch on the Giants a little bit. This team is not relevant this year, obviously. But in my opinion, this team is one more draft away from being like a playoff team. There is so much talent on both sides of the ball. It just kind of shows you this season how much a quarterback means to a team. Like, even if the quarterback play was just average on the Giants, which it has not been, we know, this Giants team would be good. Rookie running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. stepped up since he's been the starter. We know that Malik Neighbors is already a star. Pair him with Darius Slayton, who has stepped up this season. Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot, pretty solid. I'd take that wide receiver core over the Steelers any day of the week.
Yeah.
Like, Malik Neighbors is probably on the same level as George Pickens. They're pretty damn close. George Pickens might be like here. Malik
George
Neighbors
Pickens
is like
is a better jump ball,
Right.
50-50 ball catcher. But
As far
Malik
as all
Neighbors,
around.
yeah, Malik Neighbors all around. I think
Yeah.
I'd take Malik Neighbors at this point.
right. And then you get Darius Slayton as a number 2 and Wan'Dale Robinson in the
Which,
slot.
at the beginning of the year, we'd be like, no, I don't want Darius Slayton. But, I
He
mean,
stepped up some games. Malik
yeah.
Neighbors was out partying at concerts with a concussion.
Genius.
Genius. Also, Andrew Thomas, who's now out for the year, is one of the best left tackles in the league. We know that Sexy Dexy, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, that is a killer defensive line. Bobby Okereke, the linebacker, tackle machine in the middle. Rookie slot corner Andrew Phillips is rated the number 3 cornerback in the NFL this season, according to PFF. And also rookie safety Tyler Nubin, my guy, is an absolutely reckless tackler out there. Led the team in this game in tackles with 12.
he's a dog.
I'm just so excited for the future of this team. But for right now, you just kind of hope for a high draft pick and a new, innovative offensive head coach. But let me say something right now because obviously you guys know Falcons are my team this year. But I feel like I'm going to have a team that I just like believe in more than everybody else does. If everything kind of goes well for the Giants over the offseason, this is going to be my team for next year, I think. Like, this is going to be the team that I can see make a run in the playoffs like I see the Falcons doing.
No.
I think it's going to – just wait. Just wait till the offseason.
I get where you're coming
Just
from.
wait.
They got pieces.
Yeah.
They got to
have
put it
pieces.
together.
Need a quarterback first and a
Very
new
true.
head coach probably. So
Yeah, probably.
Go ahead.
Next game was the Lions beating the snot out of the Indianapolis Colts. It was kind of in in comparison for the Lions. Kind of a slow day for the Lions.
It was.
Goff didn't throw any touchdowns this game. So, yeah, obviously no receiving touchdowns. But J-Mo, Amon-Ra, Tim Patrick, they all had 50 to 60 yards-ish here and there. So they were moving the ball decently. But really it was just the running game that got it done for the Lions this game, as they've kind of been relying on pretty frequently all year long. Jahmyr Gibbs, 21 for 90, 2 touchdowns. And David Montgomery added 8 for 37 and another touchdown. And that was their 3 touchdowns for the game. And luckily, with the Colts, that's really all they needed this game. Anthony Richardson didn't do much of anything.
Go figure.
Yeah.
He had a lot.
He didn't throw any picks.
He had a lot of plays called back from penalty. I feel like that. I mean, I know I'm the Anthony Richardson sucker, but I mean, that stat line's kind of disrespectful the way Jameis's was. I mean, Anthony Richardson had a lot of like really good throws called back from penalty, and he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't get sacked, so that's good.
Yeah, but it was kind of most of the points came in the first half. At least for the Lions, they had 2 touchdowns, and the Colts had 2 field goals, and that was all their points in the first half. But then everything kind of slowed down in the second. The Lions came out and started by turning it over on downs, trying to be aggressive, I'd assume, to get more points. And then Colts punted it, and then the Lions' third touchdown and final points of their game. Oh, no, final touchdown of their game. But anyways, then it was just punt, and then field goal, and then end of game, blah, blah, blah. And that was basically it. So it was a whooping. It was kind of slow by Lions standards, but overall, I don't think we should be worried about the Lions. Just this is going to happen, I guess, whenever you don't need to burn up the scoreboard and you can kind of rely on your defense to get stops. That's
basically
that's basically it for that game. Kind of boring, kind of slow.
I mean, all things considered, this is basically a win for the Colts. You held the Lions to
only
24
points. Yeah,
Impressive.
That's basically single digits in Lions terms.
It is.
pretty much.
That's basically like you held them to 6 points.
Not bad.
How dare you.
Congratulations. Next game we'll hit on here was the Titans taking on the Texans. Titans come in and upset
Levis!
the Texans. Bill Levis comes in and honestly had a pretty good game.
Yeah.
He played very well. Not even if you're comparing him to Levis standards. I mean, he had a pretty good game in general if you compare him to all the other quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, forget that he was sacked 8 times.
Yeah, just
Throwing the ball.
throwing the
Solid.
ball. Pretty solid. And I think I said it before, I'll say it again, being that he got sacked 8 times, it means he's not getting rid of the ball, so he's not throwing it to the other team, which is sad for the internet because that was good internet.
It was.
But, yeah, he ended up 18 for 24, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have 1 pick, but you'll have that with Will Levis. But
Naturally.
if you compare the 2 quarterbacks in this game, I mean, I guess the score shows, but he made C.J. Stroud look bad. Like, relatively. It wasn't a great game out of C.J. Stroud. It was a good game out of Nico Collins on the Houston side. It was a good, decent game out of Tank Dell. He had some big plays down the field. And that, honestly, is kind of where that stops for this Houston team. They couldn't get the run going with Mixon, who's been electric all year long with big plays. The Titans defense just stopped them. And I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about the Texans.
Yeah.
They don't really look great.
Nope.
Their defense, it was kind of, their offense is concerning. We know that. But if you look at the Texans' defense playing against this Titans' offense, the Titans scored 32 points. And the Texans' defense seemed incredibly off and on this game. Like, they had some really good plays one drive. Then the next drive, they're just completely gone. Just getting picked apart. Tony Pollard's running down their throats. And then the next drive, they'll have a sack and they'll have a forced turnover or whatever. And then the next drive, Tony Pollard running down their throats. Will Levis making big plays. And so I don't know what's going on with the Texans defense, and I definitely don't know what's going on with the Texans offense. It's definitely concerning. But on the other side, we can talk about the positives because Titans looked a lot better. They, like I just said about Mixon, they only held him to 22 yards rushing total, which is ridiculous. had some big explosive plays. 1-2, Nick Westbrook-Ikine.
Of course.
I just have to say that because last week, whenever we were doing our picks, I'm like, that ain't going to happen again. He got lucky. Well, he either got lucky again or he ends up breaking free for at least one. He's trying to emulate MVS in his play. Yeah, just one giant play down the field.
I've got to say it, but Nick Westbrook-Ikine, 6 receiving touchdowns in his last 7 games. 1 every single week except for like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's doing it, but
he's MVSing his way to a good season.
He just does it.
He just does it. But yeah, that's about it. Texans look concerning. I don't know what's going on with them. Titans don't look too bad. Will Levis doesn't look too bad. I mean, he did have a 1 pick like we talked about, and that might have been a pick 6, but that'll happen from time to time. That basically wraps that. The Titans come in and upset the Texans, and there's a lot of people concerned. Yep. Let's just say that.
Yeah, no hope for the Titans, but concern for the Texans.
Concern for the Texans.
Dolphins are back, baby. Dolphins beat the Patriots 34-15. At least I believe they're back. It might look different, like I talked about last week. Talked about the offense, but it's working. I know
it is working.
It is working. It doesn't look like the explosiveness that they've had, but Jonnu Smith is all of a sudden one of the best tight ends in the league.
It's working with not the same pieces.
Right.
I mean, I guess I'm mainly talking about Tyreek Hill.
Right, yeah.
Compared to some other guys.
I feel Tyreek Hill's non-presence on my fantasy teams. So.
Yes. Yep.
But I'll mention the defense because I know it's against the Patriots offense, but the defense did really step up in this game. The Patriots had been hanging in there against the Rams, Titans. They even beat the Bears and Jets like in the past 4 to 5 weeks. But let me just talk about Chop Robinson, Cody, your guy.
Yeah, buddy.
Past 4 games, 25 pressures and 3.5 sacks. And in this game alone, 10 pressures, 1.5 sacks. God, the dude is so fast, and he
is just an absolute dog.
He's a quick trigger guy. He'd be really good in those like Western standoffs where like start back to back. You take 10 paces south, the other guy takes 10 paces north, and on the count of 3, you turn and you start shooting at each other. Chop Robinson would probably win those every single time.
I'll be your huckleberry.
He's just so quick off the line.
He is.
Swims around the offensive tackle and. He's there already at Drake May. But
he's proven his spot in the NFL.
He is. I mean, at least
I know a lot of people
didn't
like him, but as of late, he's proven his spot.
I wasn't a big fan of him, but what he's doing right now, it's working because nobody's figuring it out. Because I don't know if there's a faster pass rusher, edge rusher in the NFL than Chop Robinson.
I don't know.
But right now, this team's playing with fire under them because just like the Buccaneers, they know they have to win. The Dolphins do. The question is that I will raise to you guys: what is this team going to look like in the cold weather this year? Because we have no clue. It's crazy to think about, but it's almost December now, boys.
I know.
We know the winter version of the Dolphins from recent years.
This is supposed to be a really cold season.
Oh.
So
yeah, we didn't have a very cold winter last year. I hope it's cold. I want to snowboard.
Yeah. There should be more snow this year.
Okay.
Allegedly.
That is bad for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Like this weekend alone in Erie, there's supposed to be 1 to 2 feet of snow.
Oh man, I want to go snowboarding. I gotta work this weekend. Damn Black Friday.
Whoa.
But I can't imagine Tua snowboards. He's from Hawaii. He played it out.
No, he probably surfs.
That
would be
so
my
he'd probably be a badass snowboarder.
Well, I'm kind of hoping this year because I'm kind of rooting for the Dolphins. I mean, we know the winter version of the Dolphins from recent years.
He strikes me more as a pizza French fry kind of guy.
He does. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does. I mean, that's better for his head. Less chance to.
Well, he don't care.
You're right. Maybe he does snowboard and just just leads with the head.
Yeah.
Just torpedoes down the hill.
He tries to eat that burger and fries to build up a little fat on his head.
You're right.
Yeah.
A little helmet.
Yeah.
Maybe that's guy. Didn't he he grew out his hair?
Yeah. Looked like a completely different person.
Poofy on the top.
Very.
I mean, back to the Dolphins. By week 13, where we're at right now, in recent years, the Dolphins already had like 9-10 wins. And they didn't really have to be super stressed about losing games late in the season whenever it's cold because they had a wild card spot basically locked up. But now they have to win. They're still under 500 at 5-6. So can they keep up this good play now that the cold weather is moving in? I think they can.
Might have a chance.
I think they can.
So their schedule coming up, they're at Green Bay this week.
Ooh,
so hopefully they avoid like insane cold. from later in the year. I don't know what the weather's going to be.
Probably cold.
But then they're home
It's on
against
Thanksgiving.
But then they have a good stretch. They're home against the Jets.
It's nice.
They are at Houston.
Oh, that's
And
hot
then-
there.
Yeah, then they are home against the Niners. But then they go back to Cleveland. At Cleveland.
That's week 18? Oh, wait, no.
Let's see. This is going to be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 is going to be against the Jets.
What time is the game in Green Bay?
It is in the night game.
Yeah, it's the night game.
Ooh, it's going to be 27.
Oh, no. No.
I don't know. I just think that this team can.
I don't know.
I think they can sneak into the playoffs. I mean, I know that now
I think they
it's
got like a
20% chance.
like a what am I trying to say? A
Chip on their shoulder?
yes, but like a predator, not prey mentality with
Right.
Tua coming back.
Exactly.
And they kind of got some doubt around them.
Exactly.
They're feeling pretty okay.
They
Yeah,
feel.
I doubt them. Yeah.
They feel.
I do too, but they're feeling okay right now.
Cletus is fueling them. I believe. I think they can sneak into the playoffs somehow. They feel a lot like the Bengals right now, but I think the Dolphins have a better head coach,
Yeah.
a better offensive scheme,
Probably,
a slightly better group of playmakers. I mean, I know that Bengals have a good group of playmakers, but like running backs,
They got better running back.
Yeah, I'd take Achane and Mostert over
Chase Brown.
Yeah.
And now Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, and then Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Jonnu Smith. It's pretty damn close with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and whatever tight end they throw out there every week.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn close.
It's close.
I just think that the Dolphins clearly win
think
the
I'd
head
take
coaching
Jamar, but-
and scheme. Yeah, this season,
Yeah.
crazy. But I mean, as long as Tua is there to captain and steer this ship, I trust Mike McDaniel to create offense with these great playmakers. So I could definitely see them sneaking into the playoffs. But just to touch on the Patriots real quick, my takeaway, I literally put in quotes, "Oh no, we suck again."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, typical growing pains of a young quarterback in
Yep.
Drake May. I mean, who was by no means a finished product coming into the NFL, which is why he fell behind Jaden Daniels in the draft. But this offense could get nothing going against the defense of the Dolphins that has really been questioned this season, especially by me. I said 38-year-old Calais Campbell has been their best defensive player all season, which like
It's because he has.
he has. But this has been the Patriots all year long. I mean, competing, making people like us be like, hey, this team can fight, and then they shit the bed hardcore. I mean,
Yeah.
you just look at the roster and be like, oh, yeah, I think this team is a couple years away from actually competing. I mean,
They got a new head coach too.
yeah,
so
like
a lot of growing pains. Around
yeah,
there.
I mean, Patriots fans honestly need to be grateful for these losses. Like, you've seen some great sparks out of Drake May. You should
Yeah.
have hope in that. Now just look
Yep.
at how the rest of the team has let him down, and you just need high draft picks and build around him, build everywhere. So,
Yep.
I mean, like, you can't
Start
be
with the
mad.
line.
Yeah, start with the line. Bad. I mean, get that guy some receivers. It's ugly.
That's one thing that pisses me off whenever teams are in a rebuild is they don't get their line fixed first. That's what you should do first because they won't all retire at the same time, so you can always draft one whenever one retires like 8 years down the line. So that means you have once your line is fixed, it can be good for a very long time, up to
Eagles.
like
The
10 to
Eagles.
20 years.
Yeah, the
like it can
Eagles.
be good for a long ass time. So once your line's fixed, that's when you can start with everything else
Yep.
Exactly.
because all the issues start there.
Yeah. Philadelphia Eagles made the blueprint.
Yep.
Get the
Amen,
line.
brother.
Trade for AJ.
They
Brown.
don't even have a good quarterback, and they make him look good.
Yeah.
Not top 10.
Yeah. Definitely not top 10. Cowboys beat the Commanders at an upset at the Commanders. This was a weird one. This was one of the games this week that was very unexpected, especially with a backup playing for the Cowboys and Jaden Daniels, who's been having a pretty good year overall.
Up until the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, up to the past 2 weeks. It's I don't know. The Cowboys are confusing because they've been terrible. But the Commanders have been confusing because they were pretty good and now have been
Falling
not
apart.
great. Yeah, falling really quickly. You still got your standouts on Washington. You still got Terry McLaurin going 5 for 102 and a touchdown.
He had a crazy touchdown to get the game to
did.
tied, if I'm remembering correctly.
I think so.
It was like an 80.
It was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Because fourth quarter was electric for both teams. The Commanders scored 24 trying to come back, and Commanders scored 17 trying to come back, and Cowboys scored 24 in the fourth.
One play, 86-yard to get the game to 27-26, and Austin Seibert missed the game-tying extra point.
Yeah.
So then they had to go for an onside kick, the Commanders did, because
Yep.
they were down by 1.
Yep.
And they had 21 seconds left in the game. And the guy who received the onside kick just immediately ran it back for a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So that's how they got up
That's
by
right.
8. And then Jaden Daniels threw an interception.
That was that.
Who
Hail
was
Mary.
the guy that caught the onside kick? Because he's a dumbass. He should have gone out at the 1. Any smart football player would have gone down at the 1.
Yeah, and that's what everybody was talking about after the game. I can't something Thomas. It's like a weird name that I've never heard of. It doesn't matter.
I can't remember either.
Wanye Thomas.
Dummy.
Got to get the points, man.
You got fucking mashed potatoes for brains.
Hey, it won the game. It didn't matter at the end of the day.
It could have mattered if they got the onside kick again.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, another crazy kick return in this game. Kavonte Turpin put the spin move on like 3 guys at the same time.
He did.
It was
That was a Madden spin move to a T.
Yeah, like the whole team just falls for it, and they did, and he took off. That guy's fast. He's probably like 155 pounds.
Oh, yeah, he's tiny.
But man, that guy's got moves.
He's got the jets.
He has the fastest speed in the NFL that was tracked this year.
There you go. You can see it. That's a no joke.
Yeah. On Washington, they couldn't get anything done running. Just to touch on that, but did Austin Eckler get hurt?
Yes, he did. He
thought
suffered a concussion this game.
So he was out. So there's concern around that. Brian Robinson was also hurt.
Yeah, he hasn't been healthy like all season.
Yeah. So there's concerns around Washington, I think. At this point, with Jaden Daniels and all their, especially run game, their run game is now dicey, to say the least.
Honestly, the thing that sucks from this game is that it's going to give like annoying false hope to Jerry Jones.
So he's going to keep
Mike
McCarthy around, which I've been hoping for because they're just dumb.
I love watching Mike McCarthy's blank stare like at the scoreboard.
It's really
to watch
good.
like what the just happened.
Yeah, it's really good.
But Cooper Rush, like he game managed, he Jimmy Garoppolo'd his way to a victory here. He played clean. I mean, 24 for 32 through the air, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, only 1 sack. I mean, I don't know what the hell is happening to this Commanders team, but what this is showing me is that whenever Kyler Murray, he was playing like back whenever Cliff Kingsbury was his head coach, he was playing like MVP basically through week 9. And then all of a sudden it just fell apart. Like,
Call of Duty.
Wasn't sure if that was a Cardinals problem as an organization. I don't know. Maybe it's a Kyler Murray problem. No, it looks like it's a Cliff Kingsbury problem. What the is happening with Cliff Kingsbury?
Well, I'll tell you what partially happened.
Maybe he plays COD.
That's what I think. Because it has to be.
Whoa.
Has to be.
He's a big Warzone guy.
Yeah, and he just blamed it on Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray took the heat for him because he's like, Kyler, you're a first overall pick. They're not going to fire you. They're not going to try to get rid of you, buddy.
Yeah.
They're going to try to get rid of me. And then they did get rid of him.
Whoa.
But Call of Duty. The
It's
Cardinals,
genius.
they saw right through him.
It's genius.
Yeah.
Genius. Wow.
That's about it for that game.
Yeah, I guess we will. I do have to point out because he's been having dominant weeks and we haven't really been talking about him, but because the Cowboys stink overall.
Mm-hmm.
But Micah Parsons,
Oh, yeah.
he's been having some weeks. This week he had 8 total tackles, 4 solo, 2 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss, and 3 QB hits. I mean, he's been all over the past few weeks and just having incredible games despite whatever's going on around him in that locker room. But just wanted to give him a little bit of rub since
He hasn't been paid yet.
What do we
You're right.
think? Nick Herbig and Alex Highsmith for Micah Parsons.
You have to throw in a draft pick, too, I'm
6th
sure.
round pick.
Give
I don't
it
think
to
they'd
me.
take- I mean,
I'd send a 4.
Micah Parsons and TJ Watt.
Nick Herbig and Alex Highsmith.
Yeah.
That's a good one, too. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's like 1A, 1B.
Yeah. I mean, that would be
That'd be
absolutely
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously not going to happen, but
No.
Micah Parsons does need to get paid, and Dallas just shelled out money to both CD and Dak, so I don't know where this money's going to come from in the cap, but
They can't do it.
that's what I
Free
mean.
agent.
I mean, that would be crazy.
That'd be insane.
What would they pay him? Like
A lot.
A lot.
All of it.
Yes.
Oh, what's TJ's salary?
I think the highest.
25. It's got to be high 20s for
It's
edge rush right
28
now.
million. So they'd probably pay him 30.
Have to be.
Right now, the highest paid players on the defensive side of the ball is I want to say at least edge rushers.
Yeah,
I know
let's
it's
go
Nick
edge.
Bosa.
Yeah, Nick Bosa's getting.
Wants to load. Yeah, I think he's got $34 million a year.
Yeah.
It won't load,
man.
but that's what's.
So he might get 35.
I think he might get like 40.
Oh no.
I don't think.
No, I
he
don't
can
think any team's willing
This
to pay that much.
defense
Maybe
comes
like
and goes with
the
Micah.
Giants would pay him, or
The
like
Giants probably would pay him.
32, probably.
I bet he gets more than
I'm
Bosa.
thinking 30.
30? I bet he gets.
He's not gonna get more
he's
than
gonna, He's
Bosa.
gonna reset the edge market.
Hopefully come on Cardinals, come on Cardinals.
Oh, the Cardinals. Yeah, Nick Bosa has $34.7 million per year.
Dude, the Cardinals could get him.
Josh Hines Allen at $31 million. T.J. Watt third at $30.5 million.
Dang.
No, he gets at least 35. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
Cardinals could use him, and they got
Yeah.
money to burn.
They do. They do.
They're paying nobody on that defense because they're all who's.
They are.
34.8.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah,
That's how
I can
it
see
goes.
Yeah.
All right, let's swing to the next game. Vikings squeak out the win against the Bears in overtime. Vikings, huge game for Jordan Addison this game. Huge. And also for TJ Hawkinson and also for Jones, Aaron Jones. He had a good game too, which overall kind of helps with, or Sam Darnold kind of helps with that. And I think it was a quiet game for Justin Jefferson, but I think that is just proving all year long that it's just that top receiver that lets the secondary receivers get a little bit more love. And Jordan Addison has proven this year, as he did last year some also, but he's had injuries and things like that, I think. But he's just proven that he's a real true number 2 receiver. He had an incredible game. I'm trying to find his stats because he was pretty electric. Jordan had 8 for 162 and a touchdown this game. So he was all over the field. TJ Hawkinson was 7 for 114. And, yeah, Justin Jefferson was held to 27 yards. But then there's Aaron Jones in the rush game, 22 for 106 and a touchdown. So they were moving the ball really, really well. Sam Darnold ended up 22 for 34, 2 touchdowns, 330 total yards. So it's a great game for Minnesota, and they were dominating basically all game long. But then in the fourth quarter, they let the Bears come back. The Bears were – Caleb Williams was dealing. Caleb Williams, say what you want, but this game he looked to me a whole lot better, like a real quarterback.
He made some crazy passes on the run.
Yes, very good passes on the run. He made pretty good runs in general, but he was just throwing it up to his guys. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, they were making big plays for him down the field. Rushing game wasn't really there, but that's the Bears. Yeah, come and go. DJ Moore ended up 7 for 106 and a touchdown. Keenan Allen, 9 for 86 and a touchdown. Even Cole Kmet, he made some clutch plays, 7 for 64. And Rome Odunze was 5 for 39. So Caleb Williams was dealing this game. He ended up 32 for 47. 47 pass attempts. Yeah. And for a running Caleb Williams. But, hey, it worked. Oh, almost worked. The 340 total passing yards, 2 touchdowns. And he added 33 rush yards on the ground. So this was a super exciting game, at least in the fourth quarter. I think the Bears scored 17 points in the fourth quarter to get it back to tie. Mm-hmm. And they went into overdrive.
Yeah.
Overtime. And they got stopped. The Bears got the ball. They got stopped.
Yeah, 3 and out.
Yeah, 3 and out. And then got it to the Vikings. And they made some huge plays down the field. I think Hawkinson had a big one to get him down close and kicked the field goal to win. This was just a super exciting back and forth game. I guess super exciting to probably Bears fans, super heart attack to probably Vikings fans. The Vikings were really good at stopping the rush, didn't allow basically any run game. They had that great overtime drive where they walked it right down the field. And also what ended up being pretty critical, the Vikings had a blocked field goal early, which I think the Bears were struggling with. I think they had a blocked field goal in the game before the Vikings game. So
yeah, that's how they lost to the Packers.
Yeah. So that was a concern, but the Bears, Williams and all them, like we were talking about, had a really good game. They were able to make big plays, and They recovered that onside kick to be able to come back in the fourth quarter and get it to overtime. The defense stopped Justin Jefferson, which is huge. And just overall, Bears less concerned than before, I guess.
No.
Before this week?
No.
I mean, less concerned with their offense. More
With their
concerned
offense,
with their
but their defense, yeah.
It just flip-flopped. I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. The Bears should be hopeful, I guess, that at least their now that they fired the offensive coordinator, Caleb Williams has at least improved and showed some promise. So, I don't know. That Matt Eberflus still needs to be fired.
Yep. Agreed.
All right. Well, moving on to an annoying game, but also kind of laughable game. The Chiefs-Panthers. This game was like Bryce Young's best game that I've ever watched him play.
Yeah.
So the final score was 30-27. Chiefs won it on a game-ending field goal.
Yep.
Per usual.
Yeah.
Per usual.
We'll just go to the Panthers. Bryce Young, pretty damn good game.
Yeah.
21 for 35, 236, touchdown, no picks.
Mm-hmm.
Unique.
Nice.
That's unique for him.
Yep. And the Chiefs' defense is unique.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard, he's a dog. That guy just like the stats don't show it. 16 for 58 in the touchdown, but that guy was taking over the game. David Moore,
Yeah.
who
the veteran.
I've never heard of him before this game. 6 for 81 in the tutty.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen
Boy,
had
he got on David Moore. I almost said DJ Moore. On David Moore, you could tell he was a vet. There were a few times he got hit going out of bounds. Him getting up was a little bit slower than some guys. It was hilarious because he was doing so good.
Yeah. Adam Thielen had himself a game. He only had 3 catches for 57, but he also drawed like 2 or 3 DPIs.
One was in the end zone.
Yeah, one put him to the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Leggett had a pretty good game, 4 for 56.
Hell right.
And like they just looked competent on offense against this really good Chiefs defense.
They put up 27 points.
Yeah. Like, maybe they're turning a new leaf with Bryce Young. Maybe
they
they're like, oh, well, maybe we will keep you. We sat you for, 4 games? I guess that'll do it.
Maybe they'll keep Dave Canales, too.
Nope. So, yeah, moving on. Like, Carolina Panthers, we all know that their defense is trash. So, they're going to give up a touchdown or a field goal every possession, which they did, probably did that other than, 2 or 3 drives.
Felt that way.
Yeah. But Patrick Mahomes, he had a pretty good game against the shitty defense. 27 for 37, 269, 3 tutties, no picks. Very unlike him.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt, decent game. 16 for 68. They didn't really do much rushing because the Panthers' pass defense is so terrible. Noah Gray breakout game.
Yep.
I didn't even know he was a tight end. I thought he was a wide receiver because he's so small.
He ain't that small.
He's
smaller than Kelsey.
And Kelsey's small.
Relatively.
Yeah. But, this is just a tight end show. Noah Gray, 4 for 66 and 2 tutties. Travis Kelsey, 6 for 62 and no tutties. But, yeah, it was just pass the ball to whoever you want. DeAndre Hopkins had a pretty good catch in the end zone.
Yeah, he did.
It was it was a good throw by Patrick Mahomes. That was the best throw he's made all year, probably. It was between 2 defenders and Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
Kelsey didn't reach for it, which was smart.
Right.
And it was where'd that ball go? And
it was a clean throw.
Yeah, and suddenly Hopkins had it. Chiefs are just going to Chief.
Yeah.
I mean, no one expected the Panthers to win, but they damn near did.
Chiefs were favored 10 points.
Yeah.
They were.
And we said, they don't win by that much.
Hell no.
Clearly, they don't win by that much. But they just know how to win.
Yep.
I mean, you give Patrick Mahomes the ball. We said this. Now, the game was tied. We aren't Tony Romo who's saying, I don't know, Jim. They got 1:50 left and they're down 9 points. I don't know. No, it's different when it's tied and you give Patrick Mahomes the ball with 1:45 left. There's a more than better chance
it's
against
probably
Carolina,
80% of the time.
especially, and it bumps to 85 or 90 with the Carolina defense.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're going to at least get a touchdown or a field goal.
Harrison Butker's hurt, so
Yeah,
that
true. That's
goes
why,
down a little bit.
It does, yep.
But it was a chip shot, so.
Yep. And then your Noah Gray take on him being small. Yeah, Travis Kelsey's listed 6'5", 250. Noah Gray is listed 6'3", 240.
Yeah,
so
small. compared to
small
Kelsey.
compared to like Kelsey and other big tight
Also,
ends.
just looks.
He's
fast.
listed
He's
at
fast.
240.
Yeah,
he doesn't look that
he
big.
does
No,
not
he
look like
doesn't.
240.
He doesn't.
He looks 220 on a good day.
He does. He does look pretty
Lean.
small. He's lean. He's mean.
All right, let's talk about our
Touchdown machine.
Let's talk about our boy Bo Nix.
Oh,
Another
let's
win.
do
I mean, it was against the Raiders, but Broncos went
don't
into Las
care.
Vegas. They won 29-19. Let's start out talking about Courtland Sutton because it's crazy what he's been doing over these past 5 games. Since the game where they at the Saints where they won 33-10, but Courtland Sutton didn't get a single target in that game. He was just out there running cardio.
Yep.
Well, since then, at Carolina, or against Carolina,
Yeah.
eight catches on 11 targets, 100 yards. Then the next game against the Ravens, 7 catches on 10 targets for 122 yards. Then against the Chiefs, 6 catches on 9 targets, 70 yards, and a touchdown. And then against the Falcons, 7 catches on 8 targets, 78 yards. And then in this game, 8 catches on 10 targets, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. Courtland Sutton, over the past 5 weeks, is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, statistically speaking. And Bo Nix, over the past however many weeks, is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
100%.
I mean, again, never had any help from the running game. Jaleel McLaughlin was the leading rusher in this game with 44 yards. Thanks a lot, Javonte Williams, for your -2 yards on 8 carries. But, I mean, I just love how Sean Payton, he trusts Bo Nix to go out there and throw the ball 42 times. Like, go ahead, buddy. We trust you. We know you're a rookie,
crazy.
but, like, we know you don't have that great of weapons outside of Courtland Sutton, but we know that you're going to make it work.
Courtland Sutton's still a dog.
He is a
and,
dog.
Like, Bo Nix must have just been figuring out ways to get on the ball lately. They've been focusing on it, like you said. I mean, you can tell they've been focusing on getting Courtland Sutton, probably their most explosive playmaker on the team, the ball. No, even though he's older, but it obviously doesn't matter.
Obviously not. I mean, get a rookie quarterback, a reliable wide receiver, and he can go out there and do this, and a solid offensive line. And Devon Vele, I mean, there are random games throughout the season where he just kind of shows up. He showed up in this game.
He's showing promise.
He is. He's another huge wide receiver, kind of Courtland Sutton type, like jump ball, strong, not flashy really. But Devon Vele, 9 targets, 6 catches, 80 yards in this game.
Yeah.
Sad on the other side because Gardner Minshew, he left this game. Season-ending collarbone injury. Desmond Ridder came in, immediately turned the ball over. And now perfectly lined up with Aiden O'Connell will be coming off of IR this week, and he's starting again. Yippee-ki-yay.
The mustache man is back.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, Jacoby Myers, I mean, it feels like they have one guy kind of break out every single game. Usually it's Brock Bowers, who did have 10 targets in this game, but it wasn't him who had the great game. It was Jacoby Myers, 15 targets, 10 catches, 121 yards. Crazy. Honestly, Jacoby Myers was a college quarterback. Why don't they just throw him in there?
They should.
Neither here nor there. Also, they didn't have Zamir White or Alexander Madison in this game. Not that they would have done any better on the ground because they're terrible.
Rush game.
Yeah, honestly, this is probably better than they would have done.
Yeah, probably. Yep.
I mean, because Amir Abdullah, big cock,
huge.
He was a starter in this game. He caught a touchdown pass.
He did.
And it was him running the ball, and then Sincere McCormick out of
good name.
UTSA, University of Texas, San Antonio. San Antonio women. But I mean, Charles Barkley always says they're fat.
Yeah, he does.
Anyways, it was just Broncos keep rolling, Chargers keep going downhill. They're now 2-9. The Raiders are. Wait, did I say Chargers?
You said Chargers.
Damn it.
Chargers are not going downhill.
Raiders are 2-9 now. They're hoping for a really high draft pick. They want Shadur, I bet. Get Shadur in Las Vegas. There's going to be all kinds of noise. I don't know. But, I mean, Broncos, right now they're a stranglehold on that 7th. I think they're the 7th seed in the AFC right now. Yeah, because they'd have the Ravens and Chargers above them. Yeah. So, yeah, they got a stranglehold on that right now. So, if the Dolphins are going to make it in, they're going to have to fight it off either probably the Chargers or the Broncos.
Yeah.
The Broncos are looking really tough.
They certainly are.
Well, moving on to a sad game.
Oh, so sad.
So sad.
Cardinals lost to the Seahawks 16-6.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, it was a super ugly game.
Slop.
No one really watched it because it was just so bad.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
we'll start with my Cardinals. Kyler Murray really didn't have a terrible game. He just couldn't finish. He was
Classic.
24 for 37 for 285 and a pick. No touchdowns.
I honestly do feel bad for Kyler Murray sometimes watching their games because they can't get the run game going. Like this team is very helped by James Conner. Whenever he's moving the ball, that helps Kyler Murray so much. But if they can't do anything, they're like, Kyler, help, do something.
Yeah. On the run game, James Conner, he attempted for 7 times. How many yards did he get? He got 8. Woo! 1.1 yards per carry. You know who they should have been starting? Trey Benson. 4 for 18. That's 4.5 yards a carry.
18.
Yeah. They only let him run it 4 times. Boom. Hey.
That is a solid yard per carry.
Exactly.
Solid YPC.
Unlike James Conner, who sucks. Receiving, if you had Trey...
Leukemia.
If you had... well, I don't give a shit at this point. That was like 8-9 years ago. Trey McBride...
Disrespect.
Trey McBride receiving... If you haven't had him in fantasy, you probably won this week. 12 receptions for 133 yards. Mm-hmm. This guy, he out-received the second most receiver, James Conner, by 7. 7 receptions. Marv only caught 3. Michael Wilson only caught 2. They just couldn't get much going. Trey McBride was the only guy that felt like showing up today offensively. Defensively, they did a pretty good job holding him 16. They picked off Geno once. Geno also threw a touchdown and 254 yards.
Not bad.
Yeah, the difference here was they could actually throw a touchdown. Mm-hmm. JSN, also still the best wide receiver in the league. 6 for 77 in a tutty. This guy just keeps going off each week.
Yeah, and him over the last 4 weeks.
Tell you what.
4 weeks ago, 6 catches, 7 targets, 69 yards. Nice.
Nice.
The next week, 7 catches, 13 targets, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Remember that? Cletus?
Yep. They went to overtime that game.
Last week, 10 catches, 11 targets, 110 yards, and then this week, as you just said.
Yep. This guy is cementing himself as the wide receiver 1 in this deep wide receiver core.
He should be.
Yeah, he should be because DK can't do shit for whatever reason. K9 was also a really good receiver for some odd reason. 4 for 52.
Because he's a dog.
It's good because he couldn't run the ball.
He had more receiving yards than he did rushing yards, yeah. His average was 2.6.
Couldn't run the ball.
Zach Charbonnet is better.
Get your ass outside with the one.
Go to the slot.
But yeah, the difference was in this game was that the Seahawks could actually get touchdowns and the Cardinals couldn't. So... that's pretty much all it was. Everything else was super boring and really defensive.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another kind of boring game, relatively, unless you're a Packers fan, because they blew out the 49ers. The Packers beat the 49ers 38-10. Yeah, so on the Niners side, let me get their injuries, because they are still very... injured.
Well, let's see. We got Brandon Ayuk. Trent Williams did not play this game.
Yeah. Brock Purdy
did not play this game.
Nick Bosa, I think, is still hurt.
Nick Bosa is still hurt.
Yep.
A couple of their D tackles.
Dre Greenlaw's not back yet.
Go figure.
Greenlaw's not back yet. Let's see. Here we go. So let's go down this. Let's see if you recognize any names. Okay. Tatum Bethune, linebacker.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, linebacker.
He's a linebacker. He's pretty good.
Sounds like a buffoon.
Ooh, maybe. Nick Bosa, out. Yeah. Kevin Givens, D tackle, out. Trent Williams ended up not playing, out. Jacob Cowing, okay, out. John Feliciano, guard,
one of their starters.
Yeah, one of their starters. Brock Purdy, out. Charvarius Ward, CB, out.
They were playing their second team.
Yeah, it looked like it because they did not look good. They could not put anything together. They just... I don't know. On the Niners side, George Kittle looked good. Big game. And I guess another positive we can try to take from it, if we're trying to look for positives, their O-line only let up 2 sacks. The 49ers O-line, so I guess that's not bad. But their defense was Swiss cheese, especially the D-line. They let up a huge game to Josh Jacobs, 3 tutties. for him. And they could have let up even more pass yards than they did, but they had a couple drops. The Green Bay Packers had a few drops that could have just absolutely buried the Niners even deeper. The Niners had like 3 turnovers this game, so that doesn't help. The defense couldn't tackle, and by that I just mean they seemed to be letting up a lot of yards after catch. I didn't look at stats. That's just what it looked like from my eyes. And they just couldn't get anything going at all, obviously. On the Packers side, Packers had a pretty good day, per se. And by Packers, it's mostly Josh Jacobs. 26 for 106, 3 touchdowns.
Holy shit. Yeah, you mentioned Niners couldn't tackle in this game. They had 19 missed tackles in this game. Now, to put that in comparison, because I don't know what they have in a normal game, but like Green Bay in this game had 2 missed tackles. So 19 missed tackles?
Dumb.
What are we doing here?
Wrap up.
These things still got it. My
Discipline.
eyes. My football eyes. Yeah. So that's what it looked like. But yeah, on the Green Bay side, it was mostly a Josh Jacobs day. He was just running all over the place. Even Emmanuel Wilson got in on the action with 9 for 41. In their passing game, there could have been a lot more explosive. Christian Watson missed a wide open ball. Went right in his hands and right out of his hands. Romeo Doubs, decent day, 3 catches, 54 yards, but that's kind of about where that stops for big games. Jordan Love,
he didn't have to do much.
He didn't have to really do anything, and like I just talked about with the yards after catch, that's why I wanted to mention it, because Jordan Love had 163 yards. I'd be willing to bet half or more than that was yards after catch by his receiver. By his receivers, or by I guess by his receivers is what I was trying to say. I don't know. It was just kind of a beaten. They're playing the very injured 49ers. Christian McCaffrey still didn't do nothing at all. He had more receptions. He had 3 receptions for 37 yards compared to his 11 carries for 31 yards. So he still can't really. Still working on figuring it out.
He's not himself.
He's still hurt, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he won't be himself for the rest of the season.
Especially when Trent Williams isn't there, because that's a huge deal for the Niners. But this was just a plain old beating. We don't need to stay on it very long. Jordan Love probably threw for 70 yards and got help from his receivers for the rest.
Yeah, one of his touchdown passes was a tight end screen to Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, just pop it out. Yeah, and Tucker Kraft ran it in. So, Niners concerned, probably on the cusp of not making the playoffs unless they do something crazy and turn it around and everyone gets healthy. Packers, they're probably they're in it. I don't know where they're at to be in it, but they're in it right now.
They're 5th.
Yeah,
somewhere around
seed.
5. Yeah, they should be.
Yeah, 49ers are down in the dumps, and I don't know if I see them.
I don't know if they're digging themselves out of this,
because everybody keeps getting hurt. They just lost the Super Bowl last year. That's got to be still weighing on them, and it's just nothing has looked easy.
You would think you could, but you can't. George Kittle and Deebo Samuel are way to wins.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Sunday Night Football.
Oh, yeah.
Where the Eagles took on the Rams, and the Eagles beat the shit out of the Rams, and the score was 37-20.
What?
And pretty much it was Saquon's show. 255 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Dude's a beast.
This guy's so good.
Yeah,
300 plus scrimmage yards.
Yeah. He also had 47 receptions yards, because why not? You got to make Jalen Hurts look good, too. Yeah, it was just a beating. I mean, if you're putting up 37 points on offense, your defense is going to be hyped up enough to keep them down. Like, yeah, I mean, the Rams put up a fight, but not enough of one, because the Eagles just don't give a shit about your feelings. Jalen Hurts, 179 yards and a touchdown. He didn't have to do nothing because of Saquon. A.J. Brown, he had a hell of a game. 6 for 109 and a touchdown. I think he's a top 3 receiver in the league, personally.
A.J. Brown,
he's a dog.
Yeah, and whenever he's injured, that's when they lose games. Just like with Nico Collins and the Texans. I know he was healthy this week and they lost, but that's because C.J. Stroud sucks. On to the Rams. It's just you had a good game against a tough defense, but the Eagles are just way better than you.
Yeah.
They're just better. I mean, Matthew Stafford, good game, 243 for 2 touchdowns. Kyron, decent game, 72 for a touchdown. Puka, always a good game, 9 for 17. Cooper, always a good game, 8 for 60 and a tutty. But it just isn't enough.
No.
Whenever Saquon is having his way with you, bending you over and putting 255 yards in you.
Oh, that's a lot of yards. That is a lot of yards.
That's great.
And then pumps 47
he was
yards
pumping,
in
yeah.
you.
He was pumping.
The Eagles just dominated this game, and there was no way for the Rams to beat them.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Rams didn't play terrible. It's just like
They played well.
Yeah, and where I think we could kind of all see it is just in the trenches. I mean,
Yeah.
the
Like
Eagles
we were talking
get
about how their offensive line is probably the best in the NFL next to the Lions.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
100%,
1 and 2. I don't know which one is which. It's pretty damn close.
I want to give the edge to the Eagles, but it's so close.
Yeah, they could get to Matt Stafford, and that was like all the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about the Ravens-Chargers. Ravens in L.A., SoFi Stadium. Ravens 30, Chargers 23. I want to talk about the Chargers first because I've been the first to like not give them credit. Like I don't want to give them credit.
You have.
Because they have little talent on offense and they haven't had a tough schedule. But let me just say, after this game, I know they lost, but I do believe this team is legit now. I got to respect them. I think what's thrown me off about believing in this team is their easy schedule, as I said, and this team doesn't go for big plays. Like outside of a few random deep throws to Quentin Johnston whenever the coverage just like breaks down, this game he could not catch. But
3 drops,
yeah,
5 targets, no catches.
Very important points of the game. He's just dropping them.
Yep.
But Chargers, they're steady. They run for a few yards, short passes, efficient. I mean, they grind away yards and first downs. I mean, they wear down opposing defenses. Honestly, nobody has proven to be better at completing short passes over the past few seasons than Justin Herbert. I mean, Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen, that's all he's done basically ever since he's gotten on the Chargers. But this team, they're disciplined. I mean, they know their roles. They know they're not built to be an explosive team. They're not very good wide receivers. They have a blocking tight end in Will Dissly who's been playing out of his mind. And they play 2 fullbacks, which are really fun to watch. Honestly, it works. And they just pick away at you all game, and they all buy in. And Jim Harbaugh is really good at rallying up the guys around him. I guess I'm just like, this is kind of where it all stems. I've been reluctant to give him credit or trust because he's goofy. And I honestly I kind of realized this. I was like, I guess I don't really like goofy guys in the NFL. Like, Russell Wilson annoys the heck out of me. Like, he's just, like, weird. I don't know. Jim Harbaugh, like, he hyped up J.J. McCarthy. He said he's the best quarterback to ever play at Michigan. Like, shut the fuck up, Jim. That's not true. Tom Brady played at Michigan. And then he said, like, a few weeks ago, he said Justin Herbert is the toughest quarterback in the NFL history. Shut the fuck up, Jim. Can we stop it? Like, I don't know. He's just an annoying guy to me who seems like he wouldn't know football, but he does. He does. He knows football. Moral of the story is that they're a solid team, and I shouldn't question it unless it all starts failing. And I wouldn't even call this game a fail. Like, they hung in there against a good Ravens team.
Just your receivers don't catch.
Just their receivers don't catch. And you could see, like, I don't know, Zay Flowers would be the number 1 wide receiver on the Chargers.
Yeah,
and,
easily.
Yeah, and Rashad
Bateman would be 2.
Would be 2, yeah.
Yeah, so the Ravens sweep.
Yeah, and Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely would both be tight end 1 if they were on the Chargers.
1 and 2.
Easily.
No, 1 and 2. Yep. Like, I mean, the Ravens, I don't understand this team. They're kind of hard to like analyze and trust because they just don't do it like any other team in the NFL because nobody else has a Lamar Jackson.
Correct.
He received a lot of
a Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and a Derrick Henry.
Very true.
Received a lot of criticism coming into the league because it's like this guy can't pass the ball. He's a running back. I mean, just watching Lamar now though, I was like, I guess I haven't really watched Lamar that closely this season. Like
he's past first now.
This guy. He's amazing. I mean, makes throws on the run.
He's changed his play style.
He has, yeah. Todd Monken coming in from Greg Roman, who is now the offensive coordinator of the Chargers. Little revenge game in the Harbaugh Bowl. But Lamar Jackson had some absolutely crazy throws on the run across his body. He's like running left and across his body. He just like that, and it's just perfectly down the sideline. Little Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's just great and accurate deep ball now. I mean, it looked way more accurate. He looked way more accurate throwing it deep in this game than Justin Herbert did. Justin Herbert, like, yeah, he had some drop balls, but he also had some, like, pretty terrible passes deep
To
in
Josh
this game.
Palmer, yeah.
Yeah, oh my. Josh Palmer drew literally, like, this is not an exaggeration. He drew, like, literally 5 or 6 pass
It was
interferences.
awesome. I loved it.
And this guy, what are the stats he even put up? Did he even catch a ball?
Probably
He
not.
caught like 3.
maybe 1 or 2.
He caught 3.
Okay.
8 targets, 3 catches, 38 yards. This guy was just out there to, like, have people drape all over him.
Right.
But, I mean,
They picked up the 1 flag.
they did. They picked up the 1. That brings it down from 6 to 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Lamar maneuvers the pocket with ease. I don't know. There are some plays that take longer, and those plays sometimes like look clunky. But all of a sudden, they just like turn into a big play because it's Lamar Jackson. He's like, okay, I'm gonna hold the ball for 5 seconds, which no quarterback should like ever do, except it's Lamar Jackson, and he's gonna find his way for a first down. Kyler Murray, yeah. Well, honestly, Lamar in the league this year has the second longest average time to throw in the NFL, only behind Jalen Hurts. Yeah. He's been holding it for a long time, and you can see that. It's just like a stressful way to play.
It's just because he can.
Yeah, it's Lamar Jackson. So I guess it works, question mark, unless they're playing the Chiefs or the Steelers.
It works till yeah, exactly. Yeah, it works till it doesn't work. But
I don't know.
He's on a different level.
Yeah, he is. And Derrick Henry had a great game in this game. I don't understand it, and I don't want to believe that this guy is a top 10 running back even. Like, he doesn't look like a top 10 running back because all of a sudden, like he just like hits a hole and he goes for like 70 yards. It's like, okay, but like then the rest of the game he kind of gets stuffed at the line. But like you can't deny the stats he's putting up.
No.
And also at 4th and 1, you can guarantee that they're getting a first down because they did it 3 goddamn times.
Yeah. Yeah, one time like at their own 18-yard line or something.
Yeah, they went for it. I was like, please stop him, please.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Yeah, like you can't stop him. You hit him behind the line, he's just gonna power
That was
through
early in the game too.
Yeah.
It's early
It was.
second quarter, maybe.
He's 6'3", 250 pounds.
He's a big boy.
Also, just to touch on their defense really quickly, and then we'll move on to our
Pass
glazing.
defense, dog shit.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Every single commentating crew talks about it. Pass defense is a problem. They let the Chargers walk the whole way down the field on their final drive thanks to defensive pass interference penalties, basically all on Josh Palmer. Like, literally, the whole drive of the Chargers, their last drive of the game where they're trying to come back, it was literally all pass interference penalties. Whether it's Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, Brandon Stevens, all these dudes are very handsy and grabby and not in a good way.
Definitely
not in a good way.
Nope.
They're just tough to trust, honestly. I don't know what to think of the Ravens because it's like almost stressful to watch them because they're different. And I could definitely see them, a little hot take here, but I could definitely see them being a first round exit of the playoffs.
could too.
Yeah.
Just like the Chiefs.
Just like the Chiefs.
They always
Honestly,
seem good
Chiefs.
for that.
Yeah. Oh, if we get the Chiefs and Ravens out in the first round of the playoffs, that's the greatest playoffs ever.
It is.
Yeah.
Because then there'd be Bills, Steelers, Chargers,
Broncos.
That'd be pretty good.
I'd love to see Bo Nix take a run.
Tasty. I don't know. You got to admit, though, a little bit more. You got to admit, because you're coming around on the Chargers, if you think about it, no matter what you think, you got to admit that Justin Herbert's playing with a different attitude about him.
He is.
He's playing more free. He's playing more open. He's just
more willing to run the ball, which I love to see.
He's playing with a completely different mindset, even though he's got a worse team around him this year.
Yeah, the vibes are just better.
Yes.
I mean, he feels like
they're happy.
I love to see it because Justin Herbert's electric. He can do so. He
seemed
talented.
depressed last year.
He did. Yeah, he really did, and that's what I mean by he's just playing more free and playing better and more open and fiery and just. And I love to see it because I'm a Justin Herbert fan. I mean, how can you not be? He's an easy guy to root for. But it's just proven that the coaching staff, whoever it is, just giving him more freedom. It's just opening this Chargers team up, even though their playmakers are worse this
dog
year.
shit.
Yeah. I mean, Chargers are definitely on the come up, and
they are.
We'll finally
it's good for
give
them
credit.
Yeah.
But I mean, they still need more talent because you saw
100%.
Nope. I mean, if it's not going to Lad McConkey, you basically are not getting a positive play.
You're probably not catching it.
Yeah,
certainly not. Yeah. All right, let's get into some glazing, some folks. Our Chris Collinsworth glaze segment this week.
Turkey glaze for Thanksgiving.
Turkey glaze.
Gravy.
Let's
We're gravy.
that
We're
Chris
gravy.
Collinsworth gravy this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, change
Saquon.
that.
Yeah.
Saquon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna take Saquon too. That's a really good pick. I mean, I
was
won't
a layup.
now, but I just need to put it out there that we did our bold predictions.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you're completely correct.
I went back and looked. I predicted him to have 1,200 plus rushing yards and 12 plus rush touchdowns. He's got almost 1,400 rushing yards and 10 rush touchdowns right now. And this is week.
He is
12.
on pace
He just
right
finished
now
week 12.
to beat Adrian Peterson's MVP season.
Yep.
And he might not even win MVP.
No.
He should.
He should. He should.
He is the most valuable player on any team right now. I don't know.
Josh
Josh Allen's so
Allen,
close.
yeah.
Like, Josh Allen has no one on offense.
Yeah.
They at
also
least have
predicted
A.J.
Saquon.
Brown opening up the run game and then an amazing offensive line. It's got to be Josh Allen. God
Saquon
damn it.
should be 2. Saquon should be a very hardy 2.
Hardy too,
He
yes.
should be. I also predicted him to be top 2 running back, but that's
top
looking
1.
pretty good. Yeah, he's top 1.
You
Top
should
2.
have. You should have predicted MVP.
I should have.
You should have gone further.
Next time. Let's see. Who do I want to glaze this week? Saquon deserves it. We touched on Micah Parsons. He's a dog. He deserves it.
I know who my second choice was.
Let me see here. I kind of want to go outside the numbers a little bit.
Okay.
You know, a little bit off the beaten path.
Kind of like
per
how
se.
Kind of like how Russell Wilson throws outside of the numbers.
A little bit.
Never in the middle of the
Yeah,
field.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's not go there.
Could go there.
I'll throw a kind of different one out there because it was kind of a breakout. You know what? Bryce Young.
Yeah!
You know what?
Yeah!
That was a last-minute decision.
That's my
But
boy.
he deserves it. I mean,
My
he's
baby
clearly
boy.
getting better. He's clearly looking better, and just understanding it more. And he's just starting to get it, and it's good to see because
He understands it now.
Yeah, he does. He's getting it. So he deserves some gravy this week.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very fair. So badly want to go Bucky Irving because this is like
Yeah.
one of the weeks where like he was so clearly like the RB1 on his team, but like they won 30-7. It wasn't all him. Baker had a great game as well. So I'm gonna go on the defensive side of the ball. I'm sorry, Steelers fans, but Myles Garrett
That was my second choice.
wrecked the game.
Yep.
He had Russell Wilson shitting his pants. Russell Wilson was sacked 5 times in this game. Couldn't see through the snow. All he was seeing was a big, jacked black man named Myles Garrett humping him on the ground.
Probably packing too. He's got to be. He's up there with Amir.
I have an issue.
Probably is. He got 8 pressures in this game, 3 sacks, 1 quarterback hit, 4 hurries.
I have an issue with Myles Garrett.
At least in this game. Not saying he had a great
He's
season.
inconsistent.
Exactly, that's the thing. Well, I mean, yeah, that's an issue. But my real issue is there. He should not look. There should not be a human that looks like that human and it be able to move the way he moves.
I know.
It doesn't make.
I mean,
any
same
sense.
thing with Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
I think Myles Garrett looks more shredded.
Yeah.
Well, because he's not on the interior. Otherwise,
Yeah.
he probably would
But
look
like
Aaron
Myles Garrett.
Donald.
Every time I see that guy, it's like,
It's
what is that?
It's the freak genetics.
Yeah, it's
Like-
like he's like 0% body fat. I know he's actually not, but like he looks intimidating.
Yeah.
And he finally had a good week. So
He's
good for him.
6'4", 272, so he's got like 20 pounds on TJ Watt, and he ran a 4.64 40-yard dash in 2017.
That's not real. Not real.
He's freaky.
Yeah. Not
He
real.
should donate to a sperm bank.
Oh,
His sperm would be worth so much money.
go for a lot of money. That's
Yeah. All right, that wraps up our Week 12 review and our Chris Collinsworth gravy segment this week for Thanksgiving. So, happy Thanksgiving and enjoy the week of football, and we will catch you in the next episode for our Week 13 preview. Here we go. See ya in the next episode. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, share, email us, sourcetalk@gmail.com. All that good stuff. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.